start with just kind of previewing this week's matchups, then move forward for questions.
Yeah, first and foremost, I'm excited. It's another week with two great opportunities, and that's what life's about, man. Is in sports is every week, and it provides a new challenge. And then most importantly, March is around the corner. It's, as you all know, it's my favorite month, and like I've said for the last 4 weeks, we got to finish. We got to finish strong, but we got to have one game at a time mentality. We're playing a Kentucky team where, again, I've talked about this with the SEC from top to bottom. Everybody's good. Everybody's athletic. It's anybody's night. And obviously it's a team that we barely beat in overtime, and I'm expecting it to be a really tough game.
Robbie, you're in the front.
Obviously, you're riding high on that winning streak, and your girls have hit a little bit of adversity here with back-to-back losses and a
Yeah.
22 on Sunday. What's been the focus kind of getting back to the gym and getting to film? And you talked about, tough film sessions that you got to have.
Yeah.
What's been the focus this week to try to get back swinging upwards?
Yeah, I think it's as simple as this, man. We've been chased, right? We got up to, I think, second in the SEC at one point. You were being chased. All right, now we got to have a hunt mentality. We got to hunt the top. We can't be comfortable, not that we ever were, but you're getting everybody's best shot, and it's reality. And again, that's where if we have a hunt mentality and we take one play at a time and one game at a time, I like this team's chances.
Obviously, Lauren's a veteran player, and we talked a bit about her after the Ole Miss game and some of the turnovers she had, I guess.
Yeah.
What have you seen from her this year about the way she flushes games and moves on as an experienced player?
Yeah, well, I think first and foremost, I don't get so much caught in the turnovers because I put her in a lot of situations to make plays. I think she also, where's she an assist right now?
She leads the SEC, is 6th nationally, and had 8 assists.
Yeah, because I knew she was in a battle with another kid, so either first or second. So for as much as we might look at her turnover, she also leads the SEC in assists. So I put her in high-end plays, so it's kind of a catch-22. And then also I have to give credit to the Ole Miss, the way they play baseline and bounce defense, how long they are. They created some of those turnovers, so I'm not worried about it. She makes plays for us. Ultimately, you can't win a game with how many we go at, but also, I think we're top 5 based on what you sent me yesterday in scoring in the SEC. We like to play fast, so when you play fast and you don't slow the game down, you give more opportunities for turnovers. But my challenge to them is, can we be around that 10 mark? If we can get it at 10, you're not going to get it to 5 and 6 the way we play. So I'm more focused on the ones I know we can control instead of just trying to have a mentality of not turning it over, because I want to play to win.
Ben, here in front.
We've seen some different lineups with the guards lately, with Miracle on the floor with Lauren and
Yeah.
and sometimes all three at the same time. How do you feel like the three of them have been playing well together, especially with Miracle playing with the veterans?
Yeah, really good. I mean, obviously, it's hard to say we've been playing really good when we're talking about we just had 2 losses too, though, right? So, like I've told y'all and shared information, we've had a lot of sicknesses, hurt. So I think that's why you're seeing different rotations, because I've had multiple practices behind the scene with only 7 kids. Right, so when you have different lineups in practice, that's why I'm comfortable to go with different lineups in the game, and that's why you're seeing some mixture of things, and then also just a credit to the SEC. There's so many good teams that provide different matchups, like Kentucky. At times will be a 4-guard lineup, so I've got to adjust where I don't want 2 bigs at the time. We got to match up with the speed, and that's why I love about this team. It's one special team that I have. If I need to go big, I can go big, and if I need to go small, I can go small. But most importantly, we got to be a 4-quarter team. In that winning streak that you referenced earlier, we were playing 4 quarters of winning basketball, and then now you look at, I was trying to see that one you sent me because I got the best SID in the country. We were looking at the last 6 games and the last 2. We've talked about not being a 3rd-quarter team. Now we're not a 1st-quarter team. So I'm trying to find answers as the head coach to get back to opening starts, because I've referenced this last year. That is something I've always taken pride in. And when we come out the gate, I'm able to adjust, but we gotta figure that out really quick.
Robbie, here in the front.
Ultimately, you did lose to the game against Ole Miss, but you talked about the first quarter and you get down by 12. And last year, that same first quarter happened. Y'all were down 28, I think, after the first quarter, and could never get back to it.
Was it 28?
I think it was.
The first quarter?
22-8.
Oh, 22. I was about to say, I thought you said we were down 28. I was like,
My bad.
that's the worst coaching job in America. I should have burned 8 timeouts like I did at South Carolina.
Right. It was 20-8
Okay.
the other day, but I think you were able to come back
Yeah.
and close the lead. Have you seen progress from your team in that regard, from year 1 to year 2, to be able to get through those moments in the game where you're kind of, in a hole and you're able to kind of dig out of it a little bit?
Yeah, I have seen progress. I mean, we did it at Ole Miss, right? So we had an 8-point lead, right? That was the highest. So I've seen progress, and then I think it's a pulse thing. When you have a young team, you coach different. When you got 3 fifth-year starters, you know that they can weather the storm and they can find a way. So I could look in their eyes. I give credit to Ole Miss. They hit some tough shots, but I also got to spit some facts. They went to the line because, again, my old boss just got a $20,000 fine, so I would appreciate the questions. I'm trying to pay for a pool still, all right? So I don't have $20,000 to waste here, so I want to make sure I'm accurate so I don't get fined here. But, again, they went to the line, y'all, 30 times. Okay, so also you have to, as a head coach, take in, consideration what's going on within the game. That's why you see me mix it up and go 2, try to make them shoot jump shots, because I thought, that if I recall correctly, in the first 5 minutes, they went to the line 3 straight times, and they were driving the ball. So I try to make some adjustments. When I make adjustments in those games, I'm not going to call an early timeout because of how the game's being called. So it's a read thing. Each game provides a different opportunity, and that game, unfortunately, they just hammered us on the line.
Going back to, when the season started, you talked about, Jerk beat Miss February and wanted to get consistent results from her this season, and she's given you that. I mean, she's top 10, top 5 SEC in scoring.
Yeah.
What do you think has been a difference for her this year compared to last, the consistency to do it on every night?
I think her work ethic, as simple as that. And that's a great question. Players like that, I've been fortunate, again, to coach a lot of great players. She's just consistent. She's consistent in practice, and how I know that, we have catapult devices where our strength coach tracks work ethic or workload, and I get the emails, and she's always at the top. So I always, notice that, like, who's giving me the effort every single day, and it's amazing. I try to tell these young women, just like life, that when you come in with a work ethic and you demand a lot out of yourself, it's funny how life, when those moments, occur, that results happen. So just a credit to her always coming to practice every single day and giving me everything she has, and it's fun to watch how it carries over in the game.
What kind of impact does that have on a younger player, whether it be a miracle or something? Just
Yeah.
to see, on every day that Jerk is doing something like that?
I think it's appreciation, right? I mean, she's the bar. I mean, again, we're at a time where I'm trying to finish this off because we are having a special season still. To think that we were just talking in year 2. Obviously, all I know is winning, but again, we got to understand, I just took over this program, so there's got to be a long haul mentality, even though I want to win right now. So for us to be 20-7 right now, we're in a great spot, but reason we are 20-7, and we're talking about being the top 4 in the SEC. We're competing for that 4th spot. We were just top 2 in the SEC this late in the year. It's credit to people like her and Jess who come in and day out that put us in position. And then I'm going to need them right now to make sure we finish this off so we can have a special season. And like I've always said, I don't panic. I don't worry. If we work hard and we roll up our sleeves, I'm a firm believer things take care of itself, and that's kind of where our focus is right now.
Robbie, you're in the front.
When teams are having kind of a bad season and struggling, it tends to snowball a little bit.
Yeah.
Kentucky's bounced back. They got a big win over Florida, who beat y'all last week.
Yeah.
What have you seen from them to kind of keep the course and stay in the fight a little bit?
Yeah, I think I've got to give a lot of credit to their head coach, Coach Elsie. First of all, that's a team that just won an SEC championship 3 years ago, because it was right before I took the job, because I referenced that, it was the first tape I watched. She's a winner. She coaches her butt off. Her pedigree and her DNA, all she knows is winning. So there's no surprise what's going on. It's just like for me, it stinks. I thought that Ole Miss game was a game we could win, right? It just, they made a little more plays than we did, and it was a night that we couldn't keep them off the line. Things happen. And that's the SEC. So they've got a lot of good players. Maddie Shear was a kid that I'm from Kentucky. I recruited my butt off at Louisville and obviously didn't get her. She went to Oregon. It's a McDonald's All-American. Petty's a stud. Russell transferred from South Carolina. They've got really good players. So when they are clicking and they're on together, that's what makes them a scary team. Because even though you could easily get caught at looking their record or maybe games lost, when they're dialed in and they're playing as one, they have a lot of talent and they can beat you, which we learned firsthand at their place.
Ben here in the front.
Yeah, we've seen Darion take a lot of DeBris's minutes of late. Is that sort of just the way things have been trending with how they've been working in practice, or is that just... Yeah, has there been any reason for
Well, Dee's playing really good, right? I mean, she's shooting. I hate that I didn't bring the sheet down because some of these questions you guys are asking are really good questions over the last 6 games. But she's shooting really phenomenal. She's made some good plays, and it's just again about matchups, right? Who's got the hot hand? I mean, that run we make in the third quarter and fourth quarter, it was Dee's moment there for a stretch. So Poe's the ultimate teammate. Poe's been my backbreaker, or somebody I can trust from day one. And what I love about Poe, to your question, it's not always about minutes, right? Her energy and who she is as a voice, but a leader, is just as important as the minutes she plays. So I'm fortunate to have 2 great players in that position, and they've been huge for the season that we've had.
Stuff
To
on.
follow up on that, I think it was either the LSU game or maybe the game at Kentucky. There was a video of you guys in a timeout, and DeBrisha was
Amen.
super vocal. As a sophomore, is that surprised you at all with her? Or
Yeah, that's why I say it's a special kid. I'm always, that's why she started for me from day one. There's a lot of coaches in this business that won't start a freshman. And isn't that crazy? Because what if you come in as a freshman and you deserve it? What if you do everything right and you bring me great effort? She does that. I think I can speak for her. There's some shots that she would love to make right now. She hasn't been. But she knows one thing, her head coach has got her back, and she believes in her. But most important, like I tell her, and today in a society, and we've talked about this early in the year, we got to get to a point, and that's who my team is, and that's what I keep referencing. If we only care about points, it's going to be a long year. Because I told them, even before the Ole Miss game, just play the game. I asked them, raise your hand if you've gone 10 for 10 in a game. And there was nobody. I said, now raise your hand if you missed some shots. Well, of course, everybody has, missed some shots. I said, you got to have a mentality when you come in these games that you got to be prepared for the ugly, but also be prepared for a shot like Dee made against LSU that the shot clock was going down and she just slung it in, that it went in. But you just play the game. You play the next possession, and if it's your night and you can have a night never forget, man, that's awesome. But also be prepared that this game could be ugly and you won't make shots, and you take what it is and just find a way to win. So that's been my messaging, not only to her, but everybody in our team. And let's just play the game and try to find a way to win and finish out this month, which, again, we're having a special season, but we have to finish if we want to continue to have a special season.